Well, good morning. So, okay. It's the same topic, just a different day. But we've got better updates is how I feel. So, since the last time we talked, of course, the CMS and OSHA mandates had been provided to everybody. Both of those have been placed on hold within federal courts. But what Trinity Woods decided as an organization is that we would move forward with the CMS mandate as if it was still acting. Because if and when that hold is lifted, we must be able to comply immediately. There is no time gap or anything. So that ruling stated that by December 5th, which was Sunday, so essentially by Monday morning, all of our employees had 4 options. We held mandatory meetings with everybody on campus to explain these rulings, to explain the options and answer any questions for them. The 4 options were be vaccinated, receive a medical exemption, a religious exemption, or if they didn't choose one of those other 3, to seek employment elsewhere. And so, yay. All right. So, again, we decided to go ahead and move forward, although there are no obligations at this point to do so. But we felt like we had already kind of moved down this path. We felt it was the right thing for our organization. So as of Monday, all of our employees are current and comply with the policy. We have just over 84% of our employees are either fully vaccinated or have received their first dose. We have another clinic scheduled for December 27th, I believe is what I stated. So it's the last week of December, but we do have some individuals that will need their second dose, and then they'll be fully vaccinated. So at that point, then essentially we'd be around 84% fully vaccinated. Yes, and I think last time we met, I told you the number was around 50% for the entire campus, all of our employees. What really happened was the true number was higher than that. We had only been tracking that information for those in our skilled areas. So a lot of environmental services around the campus, while we didn't need that information, they had already been fully vaccinated and we just didn't have copies of their cards. So that number started to shoot up pretty quick as we started meeting with people. So I'm pretty happy with that number. We will continue to encourage those that are not vaccinated to think about that as an option. If you are unvaccinated, then we do weekly testing with those individuals, and it's actually twice a week right now. And that is set by a CMS standard. So if the positivity rate and the number of cases in Tulsa County were to go down, well, then that frequency would spread farther and farther apart. But and then any new employees that are hired must also comply with that immediately. So they either have to be fully vaccinated upon day 1 or apply for one of the 2 exemptions, and then HR can approve or deny those. So having said that, do you guys have any questions about how we addressed the CMS mandate and how that rolled out here on campus? Okay. And again, the CMS mandate does not have anything to do with the people that live here on campus, but obviously those living here, I mean, I think we're around 98% fully vaccinated for those living here. So I don't have a lot of other updates because that's been the biggest thing kind of coming. Obviously, you've seen in the news, there are concerns about, new variants, those things. With all those changes, the tactics that we take, the strategies that we've put into place don't change. What we do here on campus as far as wearing masks in our licensed areas and things, that all stays true. So it's still the same way to combat COVID. It's all COVID-19 to me. It doesn't matter the variant. It's all the one thing. So any questions for me? Okay, so the question is, did anybody choose that fourth option? And I'm going to look at Crystal or Bill. Okay, so they went from 1 to 2. So we had 2 individuals that sought that last option. So out of 208, I believe is so that's a much lower number than in months past when we had started kind of talking about that. We had a fear of up to 10% or more that could do that. So yes. Yeah. So the question is, how are Marshall Gaddy and Barnes houses doing? So Marshall Gaddy was the first one that opened, and it is full. Barnes has opened, but it's not full. But I will say that we have enough individuals that are wanting to move in. Right now, we're onboarding some new staff, and once we get all of them on board, then the rest of the individuals can move in. But they're a hopping place. I saw quite a few of them around last night at the event too. So there's anybody that has interest in that. They talk with Brittany Chappell, our director of assisted living. So the question is, the people that moved into Marshall Gaddy and Barnes, are they individuals that lived on campus, or are they people from the outside community? I would say that with most of our licensed areas, I tell people it's about 50-50, that about half the people lived on campus prior to moving in, and the other half are from the outside community. With these households, it's probably a little higher with the people on our campus, just because we wanted to serve them first and move them in there. And there was quite a bit of interest in that too. So, and likewise, anybody living on campus would have priority to any of those areas. So, all right. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you very much. Dennis is going to come up and provide the operations report. While he's coming, I've done a little bit of outreach just to thank the people along Sandusky for their patience with the construction fence that was up there. And I happened to be talking with Don Hertzler the other day just to check and see what he thinks of the new park and the new walking path. And he said, well, Glenn and I rode our bicycles on it the other day. So we never envisioned it to be a bicycle path. So we just want you to know, watch out for cyclists on the walking path on the east side of the creek.
Thank you. Good morning. A couple of things to add to what Steve was saying about the landscaping on the on the east side of the creek. There is still a little bit of work that needs to be done there. We're about 90% complete. As you know, you see some of the slopes that we've landscaped. Some of the mulch is kind of sliding down on the path there. We just haven't been able to get a hold of the rock that goes in there. So there will be some landscape boulders going into the side of those berms to keep that mulch off the path. So it'll raise it up a little bit. The other thing is we didn't have time to do. We just wanted to get it all put together, make sure it was all cleaned up for last night. We'll be coming back through there and putting benches in there. So those will be there'll be some sitting benches in there. So those of you who love benches, please don't call me. I got them. I got you handled. We haven't gotten them in yet. They're like anything else with metal right now. It's difficult to get. So we'll be coming back through there and pouring the concrete pads and putting those benches in probably within the next 60 days, I would guess. We'll be able to get those in. So we also, something that a lot of people have inquired about is lighting. And they've asked along Sandusky why the lighting hasn't come back on. And those are PSO poles, those wooden poles. And that's part of what we've tried to do over the last 15 years is to kind of eliminate some of the above ground infrastructure that makes us look dated and those type of things. So what we're working on is we do have lighting planned for that. So we will have street lights that will match all the lights in the parking areas that we currently have on campus along Sandusky. But we'll also have lighting along the path as well. We've got to get electricians out here and get the electrical pulled over there. And instead of holding up, not being able to use that area, we decided just to kind of work together and work those items in so you guys can go ahead and use the path and the landscape area. So, but there will be lighting and there will be path lighting as well. We also are going to start working on the creek that runs from 31st Street to the street that runs to the back of the house, kind of runs to the back of the where we unload food and things of that nature. We're going to rework that creek down through there as well. We did some work on the west side of it, but we've got to get it a little drier. Once we get it drained to get a little drier, then we'll be coming back in and doing some landscaping along that creek. So it'll all tie in together with what we currently have done. So we still have a little bit of work done, but we've made a lot of progress. At least we don't have a fence up there. So aside from that, I think I talked to our crew last night. I just want to express that everybody on the operations team and also at Trinity Woods that I talked to from a staff point of view thoroughly enjoyed the interaction with you and your families. And I just want to thank you all for allowing us to interact like that, because it's really important for them. And they all thoroughly enjoyed that. So thank you for that very much. Julia. Yes. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The lighting, those wooden poles that you see that aren't on right now along Sandusky, all of those will be taken out and be replaced with lights that match all of the current lighting on campus. Yeah, I think once we get our new lighting in, there'll be LED lights, and they'll cast enough light that will light up the turning points off of 31st Street onto Sandusky. That's why we're using an architect and an engineer to give us. We're using a lighting engineer to give us the proper illumination for those areas, if you will. Candle lumens are an important part of that, and they do all those calculations for us, and they'll make sure that intersection is covered. Yes. Any other questions? Yes. Correct. Yeah, there is an outdoor exercise area there. We haven't really set that yet. That's probably kind of like phase 1A or phase 2, but we'll be working on that. But yes, we are. You know, we've kind of talked about maybe some stretching equipment and some different things like that. So we'll see what we can do there. Yes, and it'll be all the way at the circle towards 31st Street. Yes. Yep. Yes. I don't have a what we would call a census report or an occupancy report. I can tell you that we are in operations are incredibly busy, as you guys have called and let us know about a lot of contractors and trucks, and we apologize for them blocking any driveways or paths. We're doing the best we can to try to keep them keep a path open. And you know, contractors, they oftentimes will stop their truck, pull the window open, or roll the window down or open their door and then just leave their truck there while they go in and talk. And I mean, everybody's seen that. And we try to teach them not to do that, but that's a really hard habit for us to break with them, but we're working on it. So, but we do have several properties we're working on. We've got a couple more that we'll be working on Quebec. And then obviously we're going to build back the 3 villas on Sandusky. And then we've got a couple other villas we're working on Sandusky. Yeah. And I'm sorry, the question was, could we give an update on how many vacancies we have? Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Could we give Dennis and the team a hand? How many of you recognize that the bathrooms on the first floor of Crestwood are complete? Yes. That merits a standing ovation, I think. That's great. Bonnie's going to come and share an update. Would you please join me in welcoming the Vice President of Philanthropy and Community Engagement?
Good morning. I'm going to take just a few minutes. I know Steve did at the beginning, but if you really enjoyed last night, will you please clap for everybody? Because that was an amazing Jennifer's team, Dennis's team. It took a lot of people to make that happen. So I'm so glad you enjoyed it. It was really great. So, and I've never been to one and I was in awe of the whole thing. So thank you guys so much for making that special. I actually am going to ask Christy to come forward. You don't have to come up on stage, but Christy, we have a new person I want to introduce you guys to. This is Christy Hinesley, and she is the newest member of the Trinity Woods sales team. So this is Christy. Hopefully you've seen her around campus and maybe you saw her last night at the event. But Christy is working with Nadine in the sales office, and we're super excited to have her. She comes to us with 20 years of experience in sales and marketing. She also has about 5 years experience in senior living. So we're super excited to have her. She's married. She has four. Oh, I knew I was going to get it wrong. And 4 kids, all in college or grown. And she is super excited to be here. She started December 1. So she is definitely taking it all in at an exorbitant rate. So please stop by there. We're working on repainting and freshening up the marketing office over there, but please stop by and welcome Christy and introduce yourselves because she will definitely want to get to know all of you. So thank you so much and welcome, Christy. The other thing I'd like to do is invite Kay Owens to come forward. She is going to give you guys an update on the employee appreciation campaign, which I couldn't be more thrilled that you guys have really owned that and taken that on. So I'm going to let Kay give you the report on that.
This is so much better this month, following all these happy thoughts than following the budget and the fee increase. Ugh. Anyway, as you all probably know by now, a passion of mine is appreciation. And I want to give you one last reminder. Today is the last day to donate to the Employee Appreciation Fund. Well, not really. You can go all year and donate, but for the campaign will be through the end of the year. And if you haven't done so, please do so. Or if you feel so inclined after seeing what the employees did last night, I mean, just the food must have taken mammoth hours to prepare. And you can still increase your pledge. And I want to thank the volunteers. If you worked on the appreciation campaign or you're going to be working on it on Monday, stand up and everybody give them a round of applause because that was really good. Some of us are going to be here Monday morning at 6 a.m. because the employees are coming between 6:30 and 8:30 to pick up their checks. They're going to have a nice little party with entertainment and food, and then at 2:30 to 3:30. So, but I think we're really dedicated to be here at 6 o'clock in the morning. And one of the volunteers told me about a resident who told her how lucky we are to have a staff that contributes so much to the quality of life that we live. The resident also spoke about separating our monthly fees from the quality of the staff. And I thought, gosh, that's inspiring. These people do work in the spirit of Christ, and what they do for us needs to be appreciated on its own. Don't worry about the other. Well, you can worry about the other things, but what you pay monthly is what you pay monthly. But you can really appreciate the people here. And so many of them we don't ever see. A lot of them we saw last night that we've never seen. But the people that work in the kitchen, the people that work in the laundry, the people that work not in the health center, a lot of us don't see, and especially the ones that work the night shift. So keep that in mind. And I know you all are wondering about where we are. So far, we've collected $57,000. And Crestwood right now is at 75%. The houses are at 93%, go houses. The entire residential living, which means anyone not in the health center or the memory center or Holloman, is 79%. The overall campus is 62%. So I think we've done a really good job. We can continue doing a good job, but thank everybody for donating and for coming to the party and really seeing what a wonderful place this is.
Thank you so much, Kay. We really appreciate your service on the development committee and on the board. And thanks to Raleigh and to Stan also for their service. With that, Jennifer Rawlings is going to come up and provide our wellness update.
I know we keep talking about this, but I just want to say thank you again for last night. When Dennis asked me, probably in like July, he said, I want to do Christmas in the Woods again, or that time it was Christmas at the Manor, right? And that's when we were talking grand opening of this building and the piano dedication and all this. And I said, okay, let's get through this and we'll do it. And I went to Irene and I said, can we do it? And she was like, yes. So it's been, and it really came out really quickly, actually, if you think about the planning of it after we opened this. So Irene went to work and pulled out all the information from all the previous years. And we looked back and we're like, oh, it's only been 2 years since we've done this. And we're like, no, it's been 5 years since we've done this. So it was just amazing. It was the biggest attendance we've ever had, being able to showcase the Community Life Center, but all the countless hours that Irene put in the planning. Victoria helped with the whole adding the Holloman piece, all of the decorating that Lupina put into it, all of her special touches, all the members that put together special decorating touches in Westervelt Hall, in the out in the lobby as well, and the countless hours that Alicia and the dining team put together to make all of that work. So it really truly takes a village to make that work. And we had all hands on deck, all the employees here, and great participation. So I just want to thank everyone for making that event so successful. And we cannot wait for next year. So thank you. And we just have Christmas going for the rest of the year. We have a couple of Christmas concerts coming. Josh is putting on the Know Your Numbers. So whoever that participated in the senior fitness tests right before Thanksgiving, he will have all of your results and be explaining what all of that information means. So that Know Your Numbers is next Wednesday and Thursday. So make sure you're signed up for that to go get your senior fitness test results. And I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very good. With that, does anybody have any questions before we bid you farewell? Yes, Jane. When will we get our pictorial directories? It's at the printer right now. The question was, when will the pictorial directory be ready? It's being printed as we speak. Well, thank you all very much for coming out. What a great, oh, I'm sorry. Done. Very good. The question was about, could we improve the communication about the location of the Holloman exercise classes? And yes, we can do that. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll hang out here for a minute. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to touch bases. Otherwise, have a wonderful weekend and Merry Christmas, everybody.
End meeting for all.
I don't know if that's recording on that machine or on the cloud, but.
No idea. So end the meeting.
Yeah,